Hello and welcome to Joburg Today. My name is Dumi Hlapo, bringing you the best of what's going down in and around Johannesburg. To survive the concrete jungle that is Johannesburg, one needs to have their very own elixir. For many, coffee usually does the trick.
In a fast-paced city like Joburg, the human body needs fuel, and that fuel is found in coffee. Hey Barry, how's it going?
Good news, Leroy.
Let's start off with coffee culture. Now, I keep hearing this phrase all the time. What is it, and does it exist in Joburg?
I would say yes, and I guess it's just a phrase relating to the coffee industry in general. I think the big thing is that it's obviously become more popular of late. With the interest in the coffee industry, what's going on with third wave coffee culture, etc., the words ended up in a lot of people's mouths and they want to talk about it.
So from your own experience, your own perception, what is coffee culture?
Coffee culture, I guess, for me and for myself personally, is just a massive passion in coffee and the coffee industry. It's understanding all steps of the process, all the way from the plantations to processing there, to understanding roasting, to understanding your brew methods, to understanding what comes out, and to understanding your customer and what they want, the interactions with them, and producing a full experience for someone to get involved with coffee.
I used to be a trainee barista. So every coffee shop that I go into, they always talk about a blend. Now, apparently a blend is something that's unique to every coffee shop. Now, does Father Coffee have its own blend? And if so, tell me about it.
Yes, we do. It's named our heirloom blend, and it's actually a seasonal blend. When you look at specialty coffee, basically you have to work with seasonal crops because you're only looking at getting specific crops at specific times, and there's only certain amounts available to you. What we try and do is always create a profile that is quite traditional in its style, so that it's quite easy for our customer to come in and get a very similar experience each time they come in.
In terms of your blend, give me 4 words that describes it as a whole.
Okay, most important is definitely good body, some good balance. It's vital for a blend, some acidity up front with a bit of fruit, and then of course a good dark chocolate finish.
As a Joburger, one needs a get-up-and-go beverage of choice. And for me, there's nothing like the sweet old taste of coffee in the morning. I'm Leroy, man about town.
Join in on the conversation and let us know what your own elixir is by simply using the hashtag FatherCoffee. Like us on Facebook, joburgtoday.tv, and follow us on Twitter at Joburg Today. If you're one of those that are constantly on the move, do catch us on pockettv.mobi, and that's Pocket with an I. The city of Johannesburg released its latest financial results, revealing yet again a strong performance under constrained economic times. Revenue achieved for the year ending 2014 and 2015 was that of 42 billion rand, which is 8% higher than the previous year. We chatted to economist of First National Bank, John Lewis, on certain key points of released results.
Welcome, great to have you on the show, John.
Thanks, Noshina.
Looking at the latest financial results of the city of Joburg, are there any reasons for the citizens to be concerned?
Well, I think it's certainly encouraging signs. I think the sort of prerequisite to building a greater city is first getting the financial stability. And it looks very much like they've done that. They've been running a fiscal surplus, 8% growth in revenues. They are reporting something in the line of 90 or over 90% collection rates of the various tariffs and taxes. Mm-hmm. So all in all, the macro picture pretty good. And I guess to confirm that, a Fitch ratings upgrade late last year as well, which is supportive of that. So I say that's a prerequisite. It's only the start, but it's a good start. It looks like a step in the right direction towards turning the corner, if you could call it that, for the city of Joburg.
Sure, and it is a dramatic turnaround if we have to look back to the 1990s when the city was struggling around finances. But the concern is still around the payment, the spending, the cost of utility services. Why is that?
Well, yes, I think that's one thing. I guess if you want to be a competitive city. Now, I think what we've seen over the past decade or maybe a bit more is strong competition for Joburg coming from Cape Town. There was a time when if you didn't have your head office in Joburg, I mean, you're just silly. It's a no-brainer. You've got to be in Joburg. It is the place, the city of gold. That's not so obvious anymore. Certainly the Western Cape has been a strong competitor, also a well-managed metro with a much vaunted lifestyle for the high skilled population. And competition is always good, but you've got to come back with a counter. So Joburg has sort of lost its edge as the undisputed leader, I guess. Now it's got competition. What do you have to do? Well, one of the things you have to do, obviously, besides urban planning and creating good lifestyle and a good infrastructure, but you also have to be price competitive. So we have had big municipal rates and tariffs increases over the past number of years. That's more and more, that is one of the tools in competing. Can you offer companies cheaper rates than competing cities? We've got to see ourselves as competing with other metros, and that may mean that there's limited scope in future to carry on raising municipal rates and tariffs.
John, let's look at the numbers, the figures itself. The city's cash equivalents at year-end amounted to 4.9 billion rand, excluding 3.7 billion rand reserved for future debt redemption. Please, if you can explain the impact of this.
Well, it's what it sounds like is the city of Joburg, yes, wants to lower or pay off some of that debt, pay it down, and that's what you typically do when you've got surpluses. You've got less to, you don't have to borrow as much anymore. You can retire some of the debt. So, again, you carry on doing that for a number of years. Suddenly, the percentage of whatever you're spending on paying interest towards debt diminishes, and you free up more funding in future for important services, hopefully the capex.
What are the longer term risks to increasing capital expenditure, especially when we have a low growth outlook? Well,
this is obviously the challenge, is a low growth outlook can mean more of a battle in terms of, if you've got low economic growth, you have low business growth, and you can therefore have less growth in municipal rates and tariff revenues. So you have to cut your coat according to your cloth, and that can be a risk to something like capital expenditure. Now, capital expenditure is it's good to see good growth rates in capex, because we know that the city of Joburg's infrastructure has been under immense pressure from urbanization and big population growth over the years, but also from too lower capex levels over a couple of decades before. A lot of catch-up has to be played. I think it's fairly obvious to the listener. I mean, we've seen road infrastructure really creaking under the congestion, and it's that has to be turned around. It's not the same old infrastructure that we used to provide. 30, 40 years ago, it was all about road infrastructure. Now, more and more, it's got to become about public transport infrastructure and actually decreasing that burden on things like transport.
Thank you for your valuable time. Great
It's
talking
a pleasure
to you as always.
Hello everyone, my name is Kanyam Kangisa and you are watching Joburg Today.
That's all for today, but for more on the city, do check out our playlist. From myself, Dumi Hlapo, I now leave you with Jesse Clegg, Use Me.
Back in ETV.
Wait for me, I'll wait for you. I can't tell you what to do. Oh, in the darkness I can feel you. Play the thief, I'll play the fool. Let the sky come over you. Oh, I will fall into the blue. You say the things you thought were true. Lie awake and feel confused. Oh, I will find my way back home to you. faith, forgotten view. Oh, try to keep a hold on you. Oh, I don't know if I can get through. Every little thing, every single word that you told me, every last moment, chances you could console me. There's nothing to fear, there's nothing to fear now. There's nothing to fear, there's nothing to fear now. Tell you, use me, darling, use me, darling, you.